Hey everybody, I'm Danny Cox, your host of the Gridcast, and we're doing a segment called Off the Gridcast. We just came back from the Boston Pro Days and met up with Lindy Barber. She was a previous CrossFit Games athlete. She's currently an athlete with the Boston Iron, and luckily, she showed us her back squat pre-dance ritual called the back squat twerk. Anyway, so we coined a nickname for her. She is Lindy All-Around Badass Barber, and check out her interview right here. Hey everybody, I am here with the great Lindy Barber with the Boston Iron. Hi Lindy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing fantastic. So we're here at the Boston Pro Days, having a great time. How's the experience been for you so far?
Great. Everything's so cool. Like, we didn't really know what to expect when we came in, but there's so many great athletes, and we're able to judge them and interact with them all day long, so it's really cool.
I have to say I'm very jealous of your sweatshirt right now.
Yeah.
It is freaking freezing in here right now.
I know.
They totally hooked you up.
I'm glad it was sweatshirts and not t-shirts.
I think I can cut some glass right now. If you need anything etched, I got you, right?
Probably, yes.
So anyway, so Tyler was gracious enough to try to look for you, and you were awesome to say yes to interviewing us, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Of course.
But he definitely had some questions he wanted to ask you, so go ahead,
Absolutely.
Tyler.
I do. So give us a kind of a brief background of your back injury.
So I was, when I first started into CrossFit, I had never lifted a whole lot of weights before. I played soccer my entire life, so I didn't do a whole lot of heavy lifting. Once I started getting into CrossFit, I started having a little pain in my lower back, and I didn't know what it was, but I assumed that it was normal because it was just the way that my day was day to day. And then when I really got into it and really started lifting, there was one day in particular that I was underneath a set of back squats, and I collapsed underneath the barbell because I felt like something snapped in my lower back. To keep it a little bit shorter, I went to a couple different spinal doctors. I thought my right hip was out of place, but the chiropractor that I went to took an x-ray and basically sat me down and told me there's 3 things that are wrong. It has nothing to do with your hip, but you have scoliosis, spina bifida, and then something called spondylolisthesis, all in my lower back in my L5. And then that I should never be able to squat again, that this CrossFit, this lifting really isn't for you. Let me give you some exercises to work with in the meantime, and then we'll go from there. So I saw a couple spinal doctors, all who said the same thing. Like, yes, they confirmed all 3 of the diagnoses that the chiropractor had given. I got MRIs and every test you could find just to make sure that the diagnosis was clear. And they basically told me, like, you could have surgery, but it's not necessarily going to help anything because you have that spina bifida, so your body might not accept the surgery that we give it. So this is kind of your life now, and do with it what you want, but we encourage you never to lift. You're never going to squat again. This whole lifting thing is not something that is going to be part of your future.
Not cool.
Just so not cool.
No, not at all.
No.
So you just didn't want to, said, I'm not going to listen to you guys, and I'm going to start strengthening my back, and then I'm going to start squatting again?
Kind of. So CrossFit was what I was immediately starting to fall in love with, and it was the new sport that I had taken on after my soccer career was over, and I wasn't ready to let it go, and I wasn't convinced that. I was an exercise science student at the time, and I knew enough about your body to know that if I just sit around and don't do anything and I just stop altogether, it's going to get worse. Because if you don't strengthen the muscles around an injury or work with an injury or anything, if you just leave it where it is, it's just going to get worse, and I'm not going to get stronger, and life later on might be even worse. So I took their advice for a while. So I took 6 months of absolutely nothing. I wore what they recommended as a bone stimulator, so it was something that I just laid across my lower back. And I just literally laid there for 20 minutes a day, and it was supposed to send in hormones or vibes or something that was supposed to help the healing of that L5 vertebrae because it was split down either side.
Voodoo magic.
Just right, like special vibes that were supposed to go into my spine and
Like,
fix everything.
I'm going to go crazy.
I didn't know. I just lay there and watch movies for 20 minutes every day with this thing on my back. That's basically what happened. So I did that for 6 months, went back in, got another MRI, and nothing had changed. So there was the the edges on the bone themselves that had been split, smoothed off, but the bone themselves was not fused back together. So it was still in 3 pieces: the body of it, the 2 vertebrae, and then there was that split down the middle from the spina bifida that was already there. So basically they were like, well, we tried for 6 months, you did nothing, we gave you all the stuff that we could do, and then this is how your back's gonna be until we maybe try surgery. But I wasn't gonna let them go dig around in there and try to put stuff together with no 100% guarantee that it's gonna help anything.
Yeah. That's the way it is now.
That's the way it is now. So I never had surgery. I never went onto the knife for anything. I rested for that 6-month period. They told me, this is your life. This is how it's going to be. Good luck. Come back, if you need us. It's kind of the way it went. So then I was forced with this, well, what do I do? That's all they can tell me. And I decided to slowly work my way back in. I wasn't ready to give it up. I was not convinced that running or a life of marathon running was any better for me than just trying to work my back. So I slowly started to develop all the muscles in my lower back, and I started very, very light for 3 or 4 months of nothing but just body weight and barbell movements just to kind of get under load a little bit again, and then very slowly worked my way back in and then went back to competing.
Well, clearly it worked.
And it's working. So far so good.
You know what's crazy? I think a lot of people would have said, fuck this, and just would have done the marathon route or done the surgery route. I think it's pretty damn impressive what you did. So let's switch a little gears here, okay?
Okay.
And so how are you balancing being a grid athlete and being a CrossFit athlete?
So when I started doing grid, the cool thing was that I got good at grid by doing CrossFit, right? So when I went into the combines last year and I was scouted by the Iron, I hadn't been doing anything specific grid training. At that point, I didn't know what grid training meant. I didn't know what that training was going to be. So I just kept doing my CrossFit training in the meantime, and it transferred over for me very well because I am not a 100% specialist of gymnast or 100% specialist of weights. I can lift some heavy weight and I can do some gymnastic things, but my overall goal or my role on this team is what they call the overall workhorse. So I can do a little bit of everything. So I'm not expected to lift the heaviest, and I'm not expected to give them 20 muscle ups unbroken, but I'm expected to be able to give good chunks of all of these movements and give the people that can do those things as specialized a little bit breaks in between.
So can we just say that you're Lindy all-around badass Barber? Does that work as a nickname?
Yeah, sure.
All-around
it's
badass
long,
Barber.
But we can work with it.
Yeah. I mean, we'll play around with it. Maybe we can make an acronym there somewhere.
Yes,
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So you just came back from the Bahamas.
I did.
How amazing was that?
It was incredible. I mean, it was the best. It was very overwhelming in the beginning because I had never been anywhere that nice, and I felt like I definitely did not belong. It's like I'm in someone else's home, and this is crazy. We kept saying, like I told you guys earlier, it felt like somewhere that just the Kardashians would stay. Tiger Woods had a yacht right outside our villa, that kind of stuff.
Why not? Excuse me.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So we were like, I don't know if we belong here, and that they may never invite us back, but we definitely enjoyed it during the time. We were very spoiled as Reebok athletes, for sure.
That's pretty incredible. Now, did you guys actually kick back, relax, and throw down and drink at night and party and stuff, or were you like, we're still athletes, I can't touch that stuff?
We were definitely still athletes during the day, but then night, all bets were off.
Oh, hell yes. I am really happy to hear that.
Yeah, it was really fun. We all had lots of dessert. There was lots of free drinks going around. There was shots being taken by, I'm not going to name all these people, but lots of people.
Yeah, don't call them out, right? You just had a really good time. That's awesome.
And it was great. It was fun to be around all these people that are your competitors 90% of the year, and then for these 4 days, we were just hanging out in the Bahamas working out together. So it was really cool.
So, we recently on Instagram and a few other places have seen this amazing routine that you do.
Yeah.
It's a new dance step, I hear.
Apparently, it is the back squat twerk.
The back squat twerk. So let me explain. So can you teach us how to do this back squat twerk?
Yes,
and is there a methodology behind it?
So the methodology really is that clearly because back squatting was where I broke my back, any time that I get underneath the barbell and attempt to back squat, it is a very mental battle for me, regardless of if it's just the barbell or 200 pounds or whatever it is.
Well, hell yeah.
So this is my lead up into, you can do this, you're fine, and setting what I say, setting my hips and back in a position that I feel solid before I ever stand up on the
dance it into the right spot.
Wait, first you got to stretch this way.
All right.
Yep, so when you're done here, then you get your head underneath. You guys don't have the hair.
It's okay. I got it.
Then the hair flip comes back.
Oh, well, let me at least try
it. You got
to
be underneath.
All right, I got it.
And then you kind of move your hips left to right, and your knees come with it.
Oh, all right.
Hey.
Right? Until you find that solid position, and when you do, then you stand up, chest up, and walk back.
Oh, love it.
I like it.
So it's just
it's
really just
initiated with the hips, not the knees. So it's hips first, and then the knees come next until you find that settled spot. then you stand up and back.
You know what? I do kind of feel more. I'm going to try
A
this.
little more
like that.
stable. You kind of like screw your feet in.
I'm going to do that next week.
You know, I'm going to play drop it low. Drop it low.
Yeah.
I'm going to try drop it low, and then I'm just
So
going
you
to
drop
get
it
under
first.
it, right? Yeah.
And then you get underneath.
Love it. Well, thank you for teaching us the dance step.
Absolutely. Of course.
Okay, so do you know what the Boston Iron are looking for in these athletes now that we're here at the pro days? Do you know what you're looking
do.
for, and have you seen it yet, and all that kind of stuff?
So we, which I think is what many grid teams are looking for, is a very strong female presence. A lot of the races are ending with barbell movements or lighter weight barbell movements for lots of reps. So we're trying to find that super strong female presence that can work through those weights like a PVC pipe. Because we all have to compete with Taylor Stallings currently, so we are working on trying to find that female first and foremost. We have a really badass group of strong guys, so I think our strength component for our guys is taken care of. We could use a couple gymnasty. We have Mike Upgarian, who is a baller, but we don't have anyone to like sub him out. So we could find another gymnasty guy, and a really strong female would be ideal to have on our team.
Awesome. Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're pretty damn awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, high five.
High five to that.
Thank you very much. All right, so we want to thank Lindy Barber, and also she wants to give a little shout outs to any of her sponsors real quick. So who would you like to give a shout out to?
So my sponsors are the best. Reebok, first and foremost, I'm also sponsored by Fuel for Fire and Goat Tape to tape up my thumbs.
Love Goat Tape.
Love Goat Tape. And then About Time also.
About time. All right, well, thank you very much, and it's about time for us to say see you later. So until next time, clean up your jerks and snatches, drink your beer in batches, and always dominate your grid matches. See you later.
Thanks, guys.